What's up guys, ATCG here. Welcome back to Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck of the Day. Today we have a very interesting deck that I think a lot of you will like. If you've wanted to play a BAKURA deck and you've seen all those Mystic Mind, Destiny board decks that seem boring as hell and you don't want to play them, I have the solution just for you. This is a deck that combines both the Necrofear cards, the Destiny board cards, and an actual engine that will help you win the game while using these cards to their fullest potential. And I will show you all the engines that I have. You can see Dante right here, but it's not just a Burning Abyss deck. It has another engine that has actually synergy with the deck, and you will see exactly how these cards work with each other. So let's begin. For the Necrofears, play one Cursed Necrofear and one Dark Necrofear. You just need one of each, because you can recycle both of them very easily. Cursed Necrofear can be summoned by returning 3 of your banished fiends to the deck. When she is sent to the grave by battle or card effect, during the end phase she comes back, and for each face-up spell and trap you control, you can pop a card on the field. That effect does not target, so you can bring her back as many times as you want. And Dark Necrofear is the old classic one. You can summon her by banishing 3 fiends from the graveyard. When she's destroyed, you bring her back in your spell and trap zone, you equip her to a monster your opponent controls, and you can take control of that monster. So both are level 8 fiends, which have synergy with the new search card that we got from the legendary duelists. And you also have synergy with the next 2 cards I'll show you, which is Dark Spirit of Banishment and Dark Spirit of Malice. These 2 have the same effect for different scenarios. Malice, when your opponent activates anything, you can discard from your hand to bring back a level 8 fiend from your grave. Banishment, when your opponent attacks during the damage step, you send it to the grave to bring back a level 8 fiend, and you redirect the attack to that monster you brought back. Both of these, when a level 8 fiend is sent from the field to the not from the field, from anywhere to the graveyard, except during the damage step, you can bring them back to your hand from the grave, so that's why you need only 1. You can recycle them whenever you want, and they're both level 3 fiends, so they're both searchable with Skarm. You can summon from the deck with Tour Guide to overlay, and then you can add them back from the grave. Even Dante's Mill as a cost will still trigger these effects if you send one of the Necrofears to the graveyard. So more than one would clog, but 1 and 1 is the perfect number in order to be able to use both during the same turn. And now we go to the Burning Abyss engine. We have the 1 Tour Guide, because of course it's the best Burning Abyss monster. 1 Graph to get from the deck. 1 Seer to get from the graveyard. There's the good old combo with Beatrice that you can do. 2 Skarm. I don't want to play 3 of any of the Burning Abyss monsters because you can only special summon from a hand once per turn, so drawing multiple sometimes will clog their effects. You will be able to summon a Dante, but you will not be able to use their actual effect during the same turn, so I think 2 is the perfect number. I don't run any Hydralanders because I do run some multiple copies of cards, so without Snow you are not able to manipulate your grave that easily, especially if they're not Burning Abyss monsters. 2 Farfa. It's the only other Burning Abyss I run 2 of because it's a card that you need to have access during the late game in order to be able to banish your opponent's problematic monsters, and it's also the disruption with Beatrice. 1 Libic. This helps you extend your plays after turn 1 because you can special summon 1 from your hand with the effect negated, so you can summon a Boros Sword or a Big Link monster, try to decay, because the Burning Abyss will not pop itself. 1 Calcap. Against certain matchups this is better to send with Beatrice to bounce BAKURA back to the hand. It's really good against multi-roll because the BAKURA you will banish will get, you will get banished because it was brought back with multi-roll, and you know exactly which card to hit because if they brought back an Anchor or something, you will be able to send it back. 1 Alec to negate monsters. This is usually good against Winda because Orcust players play Instant Fusion because they can protect Winda with Tinkirsu during the end phase. And 1 Barbar. This helps you unlock your Cursed Necrofear. If you don't have your Dark Necrofear, you can send it from your deck whenever you want and banish 3 fiends, and you will get them back into the deck, and you will special summon your Cursed Necrofear, and it's also really good in time, and because you can deal up to 900. And 3 Fiendish Rhino Warrior, because if you combine this with any Burning Abyss other than Sir, then you have a really good play with Beatrice, and you can send anything from your deck to the grave. And now I play Orcusts. Even though Mermaid got banned, this deck can get access to them very easily, because you have too many ways to get access to them. You can either mill them with Dante, you can get lucky with that, and I have 2 other ways to send 1 from your hand to the grave in case you draw any of these, and 1 way to send your Harp Horror from your deck to the grave. 1 Nightmare. This is in case I mill Symbol Skeleton. I need 1 more target in order to special summon from the deck, and Nightmare technically is also a starter because it sends Harp Horror, so it's like running 4 copies of Harp Horror while 1 has a different name so you can summon from the deck. 2 Mathematician. This can get access to both engines. It can get access to both the BA engine by sending Libic, so you special summon from the hand and will have the effect negated, so it will not pop itself even though you have Mathematician on the field. And if you already have the Burning Abyss play, you will summon both, summon Cherubini, that you will normal summon this. You can send Harp Horror from the deck to the grave, so you can get access to your Orcust engine. And the best level 3 extender for this deck is the Frag Dragon, because you can summon it from your hand by sending a monster from your hand to the grave. So if you have cards like FIEND, Rhino Warriors, or your Harp Horrors or your Orcust Nightmare, you can send them to the grave, get a free level 3 monster on the field without using your normal summon, and still have the monster you want in the graveyard. And then you can follow it up with a FIEND Rhino or a Tour Guide to have the full play. Now for spells, 2 Dark Occultism. By discarding a card, you either search a Destiny board or level 8 Fiend, whatever you want for each scenario. Usually you will search the level 8 Fiends. The Destiny board is not here, is not in this deck for the actual win condition. It's here for a different kind of play, but this card helps you get to them, and also has a second effect. Not at the turn it was sent to the graveyard. You can banish it from the graveyard, put back all the Destiny board and Spirit messages with different names from your graveyard or hand back to the bottom of your deck, and for each one you put back you get to draw a card. So that's the main reason I run Destiny board in the deck. It's not for the win condition, it's just to make sure that your opponent has to deal with it because they think that they're going to lose to the win condition if they don't deal with it fast enough. And when they do, you can just put them all back and give you draw power, so this is the main reason I play Destiny board in the deck. 1 Dark Sanctuary. This kind of a... I've played more for a fun deck. I don't think this card is the best, but it has some uses. If you get lucky, you can save yourself some damage and deal some damage to your opponent, because when your opponent attacks, you can flip a coin. If it's heads, you stop the attack and your opponent takes damage equal to half the monster's attack. If it's tails, the attack goes through. And you can also put the Spirit messages on the field as monsters, and they can be targeted or be attacked. So you can link climb with the Spirit messages because they're treated as monsters, so that's another cool interaction with Dark Sanctuary. And of course 1 Foolish, because it can act as any BA card or any Orcust card. For the traps, play Death Sentence. This card has a really interesting interaction with the Burning Abyss monsters, because you can, once per turn, it's continuous trap, you can add back banished or fiend monsters from your graveyard for each Destiny board or Spirit message card you control. So you can use the effect each turn and keep getting more monsters every turn. And it also has another effect that you can send to the graveyard and place a Spirit message on the field and treat it as if it was placed by Destiny board. So if your opponent tries to deal with this card, you can just send it to the grave and get another message, and you're one step closer to your Destiny board win condition. I said that Destiny board is not here for the win condition, but if you can do it, then why not have an extra free condition on the deck? And to Crescendo. This is not a complete Orcust based deck, so I don't think running Return helps, or Babel. I think just these two are perfectly fine, but you need to play 2 in case you mill 1, or in case you want to do the same thing during the late game, so you'll have something good to set up Galatea. And if you can send it to the grave with Spirit Mastery, you can use its grave effect to give you a search. And of course, we have Destiny board. I would like to have these as the OCG ones, but I haven't been able to get my hands on these yet. But it's still a really nostalgic card, one that a lot of people wanted to try out, but the only viable deck out there would be a deck with Mystic Mine, and I'm sure a lot of people don't want to play a deck like this, even if it's Destiny board, so I'm giving you the best alternative option that you can enjoy a BAKURA deck. Now for the extra deck. 2 Dante. It's been such a long time since you needed 3 Dante. I don't think you need 3. You can probably summon 3, but you don't really need it, because once you get to both of these, then you will start using your link monsters. It's not the win condition of the deck, it's just the starter of the deck. And it can mill you on both your engines. Beatrice, she can send whenever you want from the deck. Sometimes I'm forced to send Occultism from the deck to the grave if I see a handful of Spirit messages or Destiny board. But she's also the disruption with your Farfa. You can send Calcab against BAKURA decks, and when she is destroyed, you can spell summon a Burning Abyss from the extra deck, which is usually Pilgrim. You can summon Cherubini or Dante too, but Pilgrim is the best one, it's untargetable. Quick effect, you can discard a Burning Abyss to draw a card, and the Burning Abyss will trigger. And when it's destroyed, you get to use its other effect to send a card random card from your opponent's hand to the grave. So if your opponent deals with it, then you'll have to pay the cost, which is a really good card to have. And 1 Cherubini, of course, because you play a lot of level 3 monsters. The Frag Dragon makes this card a lot easier to summon, and you can send any level 3 you want. Now for the Orcust cards, 2 Galatea, not 3, again, because this is not a complete Orcust based deck, but you need to have 2 Galatea in order to be able to link climb if you're forced to summon Dingirsu, or if you go to the late game you can use your Orcust engine again, because she puts back all the Orcusts back into the deck, so you can use it again and set your Orcust Crescendo, and when she's linked she can't be destroyed by battle, so she can be resilient against certain matchups. Because in order to use Crescendo you have to have an Orcust link on the field, so you need to make sure that you have something under her in order to protect her by battle. One Lingirsu, it's a really good card to have over Galatea, because it's a card that has more attack than her, so it's not that easy to deal with by just attacking over it. It can be destroyed if it's linked, and it can shuffle back 2 of your banished Orcusts to send a link monster to the graveyard, so you can deal with problematic cards, and its arrows help to deal with certain monsters. And one Dingirsu. The main focus of the deck is to keep looping the same cards over and over again. You can keep looping Seer and Dante, which is the old combo. You can banish Symbol Skeleton from the grave to bring Dingirsu back from the grave. Dingirsu, with its effect, will attach a Symbol Skeleton from the banished zone, and it'll protect your cards by destruction. So that's how you want to keep doing that's the main win condition of the deck during the late game. You keep looping the same cards and apply pressure as much as possible. So that's why I think the Orcust engine helps the deck. For the Nightmares, Cerberus, Phoenix, the more important one, to pop BAKURA, and of course Unicorn to link Liam into something that will give you a point downward. It's usually better with Beatrice. For Link Force, play Abramax. I will add Masquerena in the deck once I get my hands on her. She's really good with Abramax, since it's a generic Link 4 for the generic Link 2 for the Rhino play. And once you have Abramax out with her, some decks just outright cannot deal with it, so that's why I think it's very important. This card will be very important once we all get our hands to Masquerena. And the 2 Borals, because Borload against Thunder Dragons, you need to take your Colossus and so you can be able to survive. This deck doesn't get hurt that much by Colossus, it doesn't hurt that much. It searches with Scrum during the end phase, and it searches with Occultism, but just 4 cards are fine. And with Boral Sword, because this deck can easily link climb into Boral Sword, you get so much advantage from your graveyard, and they're both dark monsters, so even if you're under the Orcust restriction you can summon them. I'm pretty sure a lot of you know how these cards work with Orcusts, and you can pretty much OTK even if you have a awkward field. And usually Boral Sword with one of the Necrofears is how you want to end your field. So yep, that's the deck. It's a really fun deck. I recommend you guys try it if you're a BAKURA fan. It's the best deck I was able to come up with that combines both Destiny board and Necrofear, and I did not want to even try out the Mystic Mind build. It was very boring, but this is the deck that I have come up with. I hope you guys like it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.